The Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show. Here we go.
What up, thou? Welcome to the show that you can't lose on this show right here. I guarantee you that. You'll get some winners out of here for sure. But you know the key, guys. You got to bet all the bets.
Gotta
Well,
get
I've
your
been doing
action
well on
down.
the
You gotta
show.
get it down.
I've been doing really well on the show, man. So, you know me. I don't brag about my win streaks. I don't even pay attention to it because I'm in this for a long time. I'm not just in this for the moment. So, yeah. Shout out to our guy AT33. He's put in his play early today. Say really apologizes to you guys about last week with Air Force, but this week he's going Iowa -6. So y'all that came here to make sure you get AT33 pick, that's the pick for the day. It's Iowa -6. Right in there, my man Tony Cobbs is in here, and Ix Snizzle, our very own. What up, Ix? You know, Ix hanging in out there in Cleveland with the MLB going on right now. And Tony Cobb says WSU team total over 37.5. That's a high number. But how you doing, Wine? How you doing, Big Ragu? Introduce you guys yourself to the show, man. They already know.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. The Boogie Down Bronx is in the house tonight, guys. I'm a little fired up about, us taking down Cleveland in the land. Shout out to my guy, Xie. We were going back and forth having fun. I was cursing out Boone all night. He was laughing, and it was another lit game. What a series that turned out to be, man. But football-wise, hey, man, we're back at the grind today. We're going to turn the wheels and cash some tickets. But I'm doing well. All the storm stuff is cleaned up where I live, and I'm looking to break down some games for you guys today and cash some tickets. There
you go. How about you, Wine?
Yeah, man, we're doing good over here, man. It's good to have our guy Sauce back. Good to have Doc back in action with us, man. We missed him last week. Everyone in the chat was asking about you. We're all good. You're back here with us this week, man. I feel like this is gonna be your best week yet, Doc. So let's get to this money, man. Let's go.
Good vibes today. Good vibes.
And I am shaking in my shoes. I've been doing so well. And I've been using the same cap every time, but the season is moving forward, man. We deeper in conference play. Things change. Numbers look the way they look, and all those different things. So I'm tiptoeing through this one, but we got a big card for y'all today because these guys right here are ready. I'm just on just a little bit of it. So get your pens and pads and papers and all that stuff, your notes, whatever. And here we go, y'all. First up, Nebraska at Indiana. This is coming on. First group of games this morning. Indiana's been doing their thing over there with Signity, and they -6.5 right here. The over and under is 50.5. I mean, this Indiana team can score. I don't know if I trust Nebraska on the road in this part, even though Matt Rule's a great coach. He's never really just been awesome on the road. So I think that plays against him today. And this Indiana team I watched them a little bit this season, but they must got some sauce in them or something that rose them well or keeps them going. And I can't get in front of that. So I'm going to ride with the train today, and I'm on Indiana -6.5 myself. How about you, Wine?
Yeah, this is a game, I gave out on Monday. I gave out the under in this one, just broke it down actually with Dabby Cab and Moose. Man, this is a good matchup. A lot of people aren't really talking about this game, but this is one of the more premier games of the day, especially in the Big Ten. If you're thinking about playoff implications, Big Ten titles, Nebraska, man, they need this game right here. Coming off a bye, man, what did they do? They held Rutgers to only 7 points in their last game, playing really good on defense as we expect them to. We expect them to run the ball with this two-headed monster they got over there. Indiana, on the other hand, who have they really faced this season? No one really. I mean, if you look at their track record this year, they blew out UCLA. They beat Maryland. They beat Northwestern. It's like I'm not impressed by any of those wins. Is this Indiana team good and heading in the right direction? 100%, yeah. This is going to be their biggest step up in competition, especially the best defense they will face this year. Give or take, it is in Indiana, and this crowd's going to be rocking and rolling. Fans weren't coming out until this year. Now that they're winning, and now they're selling out games every week. The Kurt Zanetti effect's in full effect right now. Turning this program in the right direction, man. It just shows you sometimes you don't need a year to get going. Sometimes all you need to do is bring your personnel over and your coaching staff over and develop a culture. And that's what he's doing over there. Both coaches like to do this. With that being said, it's going to be a grind out kind of game, guys. This don't hit 50. This don't hit 45. Give me the under in this spot.
That was a big ragu. You got any parts to this game right here?
No, I just like what Indiana's doing in Bloomington right now. That a lot of natural, resources are kind of coming together. Like you said, Zignetti in year one getting the job done. So, it's quite impressive what they're doing. We'll see if they can carry momentum over through the mid part of the season and into the late part of the season too. But yeah, this is probably an Indiana spot here. I don't hate it at all. I like what Indiana's doing.
That's right. That's right, man. One thing I love about Captain with my man Wine Time is he can always give you the real live situation of what's going on at the stadium. Like he just what the crowd gonna be like. I cap with a lot of cappers. Nobody never comes with a live direction of they've been selling out tickets and the crowd is live, man. I love it, man. Next
Good
up,
stuff.
Wine and Times, our specialist right here, man. I'm gonna just turn this one over to you. It's not much to say. UCLA going way over to Rutgers to add to they travel miles. Rutgers is a -4.5. Rutgers been doing well off of having great defense. They got quite a bit of returners early in the year, and they're buying into the system. So that shows a little bit of a success. But this is the type of situation right here where we separating the men from the boys. And when I say that, I mean the bottom of the Big Ten from the top of the Big Ten. And these guys are going to fight it out today. What you think about this one, Wine?
Shout out to my guy Ick in the chat. Shout out to my guy Mills too. Picks from Dave, True Teller. Everyone out there, appreciate you guys for showing up early and often. Yeah, guys, this is gonna be a good game right here in the Big Ten. I've been on UCLA the last 4 weeks. I've been on them every game this season. We're 4-2 ATS so far, taking them 4-0 the last 4 games. Give or take, we've gotten some better numbers on these spreads. That being said, I think this Rutgers team is, they're slowly falling apart, especially on offense. I think they use Kyle Monungai a lot early in the season. They give him a lot of touches. You can kind of tell it's showing now, and they're getting behind too much in these games to even use him in the running game later in the games. So it's going to be tough for Rutgers to get it going against a UCLA run defense that I've talked about this year that's been good. They're top 50 in the nation. It's just the offense. They haven't been able to break 20 points all season. Is this the game to do it? I don't know. I expect this being like a 17-14 game. Either way you look at it, though. UCLA is hungry for a win here. They need a conference win. Very winnable game last week. They were up 10-0 going into the half and they blew it. Foster got out coached there by PJ Fleck. Is the experience factor, I think, in that one. And, he might get out coached here again in the second half, but I'm still going to take my chances and take this 4.5 points with UCLA in a game that I think that they very well are going to win outright. In a game that I don't think touches 40. The number is going up. I gave it out at 41. It's all the way up to a 42, guys. Getting at the under 42. UCLA hasn't touched 20 all season. Rutgers hasn't scored more than 7 points in 3 weeks. I think the sale's under the under. It does scare me a little bit that it's going up, but all the tickets are on the over. All the tickets are on the over. Public's on the over. Give me the under and give me UCLA.
There it is. You got anything to touch up on that one,
No.
Big Ragu?
This is one I think the number might be a little too low here, guys. Sometimes, with the not say overreaction, but to Wine's point, I was going to ask if he had an opinion on the total, which he did. So yeah, he likes the under, so that puts me off the game. But my first look here was like I think maybe the number was a little too low here. When you get two teams that are struggling offensively, they usually crack that number very, very slightly. Not big, not in a big way, but just like a field goal or a touchdown away from putting that game over. But I lean under too. But I think it's it might be a tricky over spot.
Yeah, that happens around this time of season too, where two teams that basically are identical, you get an opposite result right there. Sometimes you would think those would be solid moments to take those games, but sometimes those games get way out of hand because it's like a roll of the dice when they're so similar. And
especially when they're struggling teams.
Yeah, those two teams are very similar. And UCLA on the overside of things too is the coach is an offensive guy, so eventually the offense is supposed to engage and be able to score points. The defense he inherited from last year, but
can they just run the
anyways,
ball here, boss? Can they just run the ball
I
with
mean,
TJ Harden? I've been saying this every week. Give TJ Harden the ball, man.
Yeah.
Watch out for this kid. If he starts breaking out, guys, this is a guy I was high on going into this season. Give him the ball. Come on.
Yeah, and that's another element at this point in the season. Some teams continue to improve. Some teams just, with the, teams start breaking down because players are already going to the porta pool in their mind and all that craziness. So we got to deal with it. Let's keep it rolling. We got a lot of games to get, y'all. Next up, big game today. Alabama, Tennessee. Now, this early in the season, you would have looked at this like this is going to be the showdown and showdowns. But the way that the SEC, the Big Ten been going and teams been losing and all that stuff, they show up in this game both with a licking. So somebody's going to come out of here with an extra loss right here. But, I mean, just from what I looked at this game and I was like, nah, it's filthy. But as it set with me for the week, I started saying, this is Milroe's chance to stay alive in the Heisman race right here. Kalen DeBoer, definitely, this is one of the marks he has to get over easily to be even anywhere near Simmons' locker or whatever. He got to get it done right here. And Heupel over here, Heupel's back against the wall again. I don't know how every season around this time, he ends up in the same position where, the fire's coming close to your seat, coach. But, he seems to make his way out of it time after time. This is becoming a little bit of a bitter rivalry between these two too. So it's a tough game right here. But I think it is a buy low point on Alabama, a team that we've definitely seen improves as the season go on. So they just Alabama really just has a few nuts and bolts that need to be tightened and loosened and oiled, and they could be on their way deep into the playoffs. So I think this is a spot where Alabama got to get it done. So I really like Alabama, but I'm gonna tell you guys, I did not get to the window with this one, and I can see my man Big Ragu. This got to be his game because he's on the edge of his seat right here. Go ahead, Big Ragu.
Yeah, this is a game that's we know the big game. The Georgia's a big game. This is kind of like a 1B or a 1C game because whoever loses this game technically could be eliminated from the playoffs. So this has a big playoff implications today. And Alabama's defense has been struggling. Obviously, they haven't been able to get off the field, and it's like you said, a couple nuts and bolts, adjustments here. But what Tennessee's been doing pretty good. They've kept their opponents under 20 points a game. Now they haven't played anybody the likes of Bama yet, but but their offense is struggling too. Like you said, with Heupel, he's got to kind of tune his offense up also at the same time here. So, and then like you said, Milroe, he's going to try to stay in that Heisman race. So I expect a game where both teams are going to make some adjustments on both sides of the ball here. Alabama on the defense, I think their offense is fine. And then Tennessee offensively has had some struggles, and their defense is good too. So I think it's going to be the Alabama defense versus the Tennessee offense is going to be the key matchup here. But I think both teams will have an adjustment, and it'll equal out. It'll be a back-and-forth type of game. And I got to play on the total here, guys. I think the number here is going to get over the total. I got both of these teams getting up into the 30s here. I got like 34-31, somewhere in that range, 34-30. So I think 56 is a buy-on spot for me here. You got 60% of the tickets and 60% of the tickets on the total on the over, and 90% of the cash is on the over. So it's probably a heavy public bet and some sharps on top of it too. So I like the over here. I think we'll see points.
Nice. You got anything on this one, Wine?
Nothing on this one. This is going to be a big-time matchup, though, man. I was on the under Alabama win total going into the season, under the 9.5. So definitely I'm staying away from this game. This is going to be a close matchup. If I had a gun in my head, I'm taking Alabama in this spot. Nico's been struggling the last couple of weeks, the quarterback from Tennessee. You already mentioned maybe Jalen Milroe tries to get back in the Heisman race with a big game right here against Tennessee. I think Alabama's the better team in this matchup. It is going to be in a hostile environment, and this game does mean a lot. With that being said, I'm going to stay away from it.
Oh, man, I must tell you, man, I was very disappointed one time because you was all about the smoke last week. You was all about
I'm not about it this week.
Now you're not about the smoke, man. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's keep it going. My team, ND, you already know. I got my socks on, my ND sweats on. Big game for Notre Dame today. This one was marked on the calendar to be worth something too, but Georgia Tech right here, they take a loss from us today, and their season kind of goes down the drain. Maybe they'll end up in the bowl, but the quarterback is not playing over there at Georgia Tech. They
Is that
ruled him out.
confirmed?
Yeah,
It's
they
confirmed he's out.
confirmed Haynes out, so it's a no for me. That Notre Dame defense, I'd hate to be a backup quarterback coming in against that defense, man, because they bite. That front line, that I mean, they rush four and drop the rest, and the rest that they drop. But we got an injury on in the one of our defensive backs is out. NFL prospect, but Notre Dame, well-oiled machine. This is Freeman's defense. I'm sure the next guy up should do just as fine. But yeah, dropping six back, four coming at you. This defense is tough. So Notre Dame could definitely get over the 11 and a half. But this is also one of those points, and just being a Notre Dame fan, where we tend to drop the ball. You look past little old Georgia Tech. Next thing you know, they're kicking the field goal to kick your ass. So if Haynes were gonna play, I was gonna take Georgia Tech in my fan bet all day plus the points, because it's gonna be really tough. It's a spot we could actually lose outright today. Just because we always sitting around like a deer in the headlights and we get smacked. So I'm off the game all the way. This got to be Big Ragu on this game, unless Wine has the under on this one. I don't know.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. I don't have a play in this game today. With King coming out in college football, especially of all sports, when you lose your starting quarterback, you're always grooming that second quarterback to come in. But with NIL and all the stuff going around, you lose that guy, you go after to bring in to run your offense. Nobody, there's really not a 1B here for this squad here. I don't think it's going to hurt them tremendously. That's a big part of their offense. So, and I know Brent Key with that offensive line is pretty strong up front, but still, even so, Notre Dame, and they're going into Atlanta to play this game too. So that could be a little bit of tricky, maybe a little bit of an overlay with the, over two scores here, but I put me off the game. I took my cap right off.
How about you, Wine? You on this one right here?
Oh yeah, I'm on. You already said. I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record this week, guys. I'm on a lot of unders in these spots. I'm on the under 50.5 in this, or on 49.5, whatever the number is right now. Give it to me. I'm on the under in this spot, guys. Riley Leonard likes to run the ball. They've got a running back over there, Jeremiah Love, playing really good ball right now. He's averaging 6.8 yards a carry. Give this kid the ball in that Notre Dame backfield. Notre Dame offensive line is the elite every single year. Their offensive line, for a reason. Georgia Tech, what do they like to do? They like to run the ball very efficiently. They run the ball 54% of the time. That's top 30 in the nation. Look for them to run the ball here continuously, even without their quarterback, because that's what they're going to want to do. They're going to want to give the ball to Jamal Haynes. With that being said, if Notre Dame can stop that running back, I don't think Georgia Tech has a chance of staying in this game, honestly. I'm not sure who this quarterback is starting for them. I don't have too much info on him or what his name is. If anyone could put it in the chat, or if any of you guys know, maybe it'll sound familiar, but I don't know who it is. With that being said, I'm on the under. I don't think this one, I think 50. I don't think this hits 50 here. At Notre Dame, they like to run the ball, and Riley Leonard likes to be a game-time manager. Marcus Freeman, they just need to win these games to get to that college football playoff. They don't even have to cover this spread, honestly. Just get it done. And if they get up a little bit early, just watch them or keep out for them to put the clamps on defense as well. So this goes under.
Yeah, I kind of figured Weinstein was on the under in this one, because I like the under in that one. But if we were at home, my whole theory is that tradition is that we don't blow teams out at home. We just get the win and get to church. So I usually look for the unders at home, but on the road, I'm totally off, man. Freeman he surprises you sometimes.
Yeah,
but. Shout out to our boys in the chat. Our guy Jimmy Vegas and Stardust Mike and Red Beards in the house. AT33. Go Dogs! They own the Dogs today. Dogs are dogs today. The Dogs are dogs today. Wow, ain't that crazy? But let's keep the show moving. Houston and Kansas. I mean, this is a game. would not want to be involved with this game. Kansas is minus 4.5. The over/under sitting at 47.5. Now, Kansas, they were supposed to be an offensive guru this year with the quarterback over there, but he comes out first few weeks throwing 3 interceptions in the game. They give him some time to brush it off. He comes back, he does similar things. And Houston with the new coach is a crapshoot as well. We don't know exactly what direction this team is going. If you look at their record, you'd be surprised by who they beat compared to who they lost to, stuff like that. So this game is totally confusing for me. I don't know whose game this is, what play they got on it, or whatever, but take the wheel.
I got this one for you guys. All right. Now, not all things seem what they are on the surface. We know that Kansas is 1-5, right? They were a top 19, 18 team when the AP 25 came out. 1-5, 0-6 to the number. Houston is 2-4. I mean, they got one more win in conference, but right now, as it sits with both of these teams, and they 0-6 to the under. So Houston's playing to the under, not scoring a ton of points either. But their defense is pretty bad all the way across the board here, guys. But here's what puts me on this game. Okay, so like I say, not all things are seem what they are on top of the surface. And like to your point, early on they were supposed to have a ton of offense and score points. But if you go back and look at the games that Kansas has played in, they played ASU, West Virginia, UNLV, and Illinois. And they basically were all one-score games, like close games that they've lost. So they haven't lost. There's only one game that they lost by more than one score. That was to TCU. They lost by 11. But in the last 3 games, Kansas is in games that they've been involved with, 65, 66, and 60 points against better competition. So for me here, with the struggles that they have, this is almost like a get-right game for Kansas. It almost has to be. Now, don't mind you that they're not playing in Lawrence. They're playing this game in Missouri. So they've been playing downtown Missouri. They got like 4 games, I think, in Arrowhead and 2 games somewhere else. So they're kind of removed from their home field. But still, I think their fans travel well here. But to me, this is a fate of Houston. As bad as Kansas has been overall, they have been generating offense. They have been scoring points. And here's another thing: Kansas is ranked. They're ranked number 16 on third down. And they got the number 1 ranked red zone defense. Nobody scores in Kansas when they get in the red zone. So they're 100% from keeping their opponents off the board. So this is a hot play for me, guys. I'm all over Kansas here. And Willie Fritz will get that program going. They got shut out 2 games back-to-back last week. I guess they got a win. They brought some kid, a sophomore, back in against TCU, I believe. And he had a couple, good runs. He had like a 71-yard run. But he gets Kansas this week. His defense is not bad. But, I think Kansas is the spot here. So this is spot play for me on Kansas.
Nice call right there, man. And thanks for beating up the data and everything on that game, because I didn't have the time to go that deep with that one. But I'm sure when you go deep with some of these games, you find some jewels. But let's keep it moving to another game that I don't think highly of at all either. This is Baylor versus Texas Tech. Texas on Texas crime is bad. Okay, I don't want to be in the Texas on Texas. To me, these things tend to go over though when these Texas on Texas game. But Baylor, disappointing. What a disappointing team. Texas Tech slipped up at the beginning, but then they got their quarterback back. And they've been doing pretty good since there. But the offense that they run, I don't think I like that offensive coordinator. It just looks weird. It moves weird. But somehow they've been able to turn things around, get some wins under their belt, and they can't get to the end zone. But not like the Texas Tech of the past that was really high scoring with no defense. The defense is a little better in this one. Baylor, I can't even describe what Baylor has to offer. But in this Texas on Texas crime, they can wake up today, Ragu. You on this one too?
Yeah, I'm on the total here, guys. I'm on the total. These games, like you said, traditionally have been, knockdown, slobber knocker, shootout type games, But Taj Brooks, who's the running back for Tech, he's probably one of the better running backs in the nation. We talk about the running back out of Oklahoma State, and the Big 12 puts out some good running backs over the years, solid. And I know Dave Aranda's seat's getting pretty hot in Baylor right now. We talked about him last year, but Tech right now 5-1, 3-2, 3-3 to the under. 3-0 in conference, 3-0 ATS in conference also, where Baylor's 1-3 in conference and 0-4 in conference. So they've really had some struggles here. But the thing is, the amount of offense that Tech generates, it's pretty good. But they do give up, over 4 touchdowns a game here. So I'm not gonna say it's another get right spot for Ronda because he's got issues, but they can move the ball. They do struggle at times in offense, but I think this sets up good for him here. With traditionally a game that's kind of gone back and forth over the years, and they seem to kind of alternate games. Where Texas Tech has been getting the better Baylor of late here, but I think this is another number here that's kind of hanging a little bit low for my liking. I know it's another game that I see both teams hitting the 30s, and I might even try to get cute with Texas Tech on a team total of 23.5. I'm sorry, no, I'm correct. I'm wrong about that. It's 30.5. My bad. But anyways, I still lean over. So whichever way the game goes, as far as who's going to score, but I still got Tech coming out on top here. So I think it's a lean towards Tech, but it's definitely a play on the over. I think Tech's offense is too good, and I think Baylor will get their share of points here. I think Baylor gets 4 touchdowns. I think Tech gets probably five touchdowns here. So I can see like a 35-28, 63 points, 64, 65, 66 points here. So I think my numbers have it 10 points stronger than where we're at with the total like 55 and a half. So put me on the over here.
I like that look right there because, in order to get on the over, you got to look at one of the teams going to score 30. And both of these teams are capable.
I think Texas Tech team total is like 31 right now, 30.5, 31.
Yeah,
so I think Baylor gets their 28 points here. I think they get 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, might throw something on Baylor, the team total over. That sounds kind of good. Yeah. Capping the capper. What you think about?
It's a 1-score game, regardless. So either way.
Yeah, and that's how those Texas shootouts go. It's going to be a 1-score game going back and forth for the whole fourth quarter. What you think about this one, Wine?
Yeah, man, this is a tough matchup right here. Texas Tech have one of the weaker schedules, honestly, in the Big 12, thinking about it. Yeah. I mean, they did beat impressive Arizona. I mean, Arizona's been inconsistent all year. They did, some impressive wins against Cincinnati, ASU, man, and they did have that blowout loss against Washington State. This was a team I was high on going into the season, and after watching them go into double overtime against Abilene Christian in the week 1 and then get blown out by Washington State, I was low on this team, and they've been winning games. Baylor, on the other hand, man, you mentioned the coach in the hot seat, man. Not a bad coach by any means. I don't know if he has the right personnel over there, the right athletes over there. But, man, yeah, coming off a couple big losses, man. I mean, that Colorado loss, man, I was on that Baylor side, and they lost that game. Colorado didn't win that game. They lost that game from 2 big explosive plays. Texas Tech firing on all cylinders. I could only take the over in this because Texas Tech could easily score 30 in this, and I think Baylor could probably score 30 as well. So, yeah, I definitely lean towards the over in this spot.
Yeah, nice. I think Taj Brooks was out against that game versus Arizona too, which they won on the road. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that look right there. Jumping to this next one right here. Now, everybody might think this is an ugly game too. Not a lot of people, and not a whole lot of line movement in this one. Even though I think I have seen a 7.5 in this one, but I got it at 7. Come on, $100 million coach. USC 3 losses in a row. You got to shake this. This is the spot you could do it in. On the road. I know it's been tough for you guys on the road, but this is a spot. I mean, USC has been in every game at some point of the game. So I think this is going to be a spot where Lincoln Riley can actually outcoach over here, and his guys, they're being doubted a little bit. This probably should be more of an 8.5 point spread, but I think it even came out at 6.5. But I got it at 7. I'm taking USC. I also have USC in a money line parlay as well. So I'm all over USC in this point right here. I mean, they really another team like similar to Alabama that just needs some nuts and bolts, a little oil right here and stuff like that. But I mean, they do suffer in the trenches. Sometimes they suffer on the offensive side. Sometimes they suffer in the defensive side. But that's to be expected moving over to the Big Ten because they're just a different size, a different type of dog over there. And eventually they're going to have to recruit to match that energy. I don't think the whole the process of saying that, you know, these West Coast teams are faster and these more East Coast teams are stronger. And I don't even think it comes down to that nowadays. It just comes out to these kids playing on the field because they adjust really well. So I think USC comes in here today and handles business big time. They need to, not only does Lincoln Riley need to win, he need to run it up. And so they can say, hey, our playoff chances is out of here, but we're not going to be sitting on the bottom of the Big Ten. We want to be in the conversation next year at the beginning of the year. We got to win today. So I'm on the USC. Anybody else on this one?
Yeah, I got nothing on this one, guys. But I mean, I like everything you said. I mean, Lincoln Riley, he should be able to outcoach him in this spot. You know, we mentioned them going on the road here in the Big Ten, losing in these hostile environments. This isn't going to be a hostile Big Ten environment by any means, Maryland. I mean, this isn't going to be a sold-out crowd. And it is, I don't even know how much this holds, but this isn't going to be one of those insanely road environments for USC that they haven't already seen.
Yeah.
Minnesota and Michigan. That being said, USC needs to win this game, boss. Yeah, if they lose this game, Lincoln Riley should be fired immediately after this game. I know they owe him money. I know they do, but it would be unacceptable for that program if they go in here after, you know, being in total control of that first half against Penn State. Man, I mean, we were on it. You know what I mean? We got the cover somehow, but you know, they blew that second half that game, man. The second half adjustments have been good for USC. In that game, they were bad. And I don't know if the personnel is starting to maybe stop trying in these games, maybe not give it their all, maybe sit out some games and stuff. It's going to be I'm curious to see what happens in this game. I definitely like the USC side because they need to handle business. This is the game they should win. They should cover without a doubt. So I definitely lean that side. But yeah, nothing for me on this.
You got anything to add with that one, Big Red?
No, USC just needs. I don't know if they're set up right now because I'm not a big. I mean, I love the Pac-12. There were some great teams that played in Pac-12 last year that kind of transitioned over pretty nicely. Some didn't, some did. But the top tier teams, I think, are doing well in the Big 12 and the Big 10 right now, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, they just have to step up and learn a little bit more on the defensive side because in reality, you know, I think they're scoring enough points in these games to compete in the Big 12 without question. But I think next year is going to be, you know, a regroup to focus on like Tawine was saying, get these guys acclimated to play that type of ball, you know, because if they're going to play 80% of their teams are going to be in that conference, you gotta assimilate to play the type of game they're playing. You're not going to recreate the Big Ten football coming from the West Coast playing in their league. But that being said, you know, just a little bit more defense on their side, and to what Maryland has done, you know, they're not world beaters like Wine was saying. You know, they've had a couple of losses. You know, Michigan State, you know, Northwestern, Indiana, a good football team, you know, and then they got a win over Villanova, Virginia early on in the season and UConn. So this is a very winnable game for USC here. So all they got to do is not, you know, make mistakes and control the offensive tempo of the game. I think they come out.
I think I convinced you guys. I think I got my point across. Let me know in the chat if I put anybody on USC.
There you go.
But this is a crazy little spot right here. A thought came through my mind right here. As Winetime said, fire Lincoln Riley. With the way that things are working with the NIL and all this stuff, is it going to be easy just to fire guys like that? I mean, he has the house, he has the jet,
everything.
He probably has NIL deals set, you know, for the future.
Here's the question: who are you going to replace him with?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. You guys know I'm just if he gets fired, he ain't getting fired. They owe him too much money. But you guys know what I'm saying over here. I'm just
that's the California boy talking in you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. They should take care of business though, guys. This is a game that USC they've got the athletes to win. They could be 6-0. They could be 6-0 in a lot of these games. So
let's just hope they don't goof it off in the second half. That's been the Achilles heel is the second half. But let's keep it moving. We 30 minutes in the show. We got a nice crowd in here. I'm gonna say the shout outs for the end, but we just gonna keep it rolling. We got about 4 more games to go. New Mexico at Utah State. Now this Utah State team is crazy. The total was at 77.5, and it went up. It's been up, so people really expect these two teams to get out there and score. Now, I'm from the Mountain West where I do it the best, and
let's hear it.
I can't even touch this game right here because we haven't had a true identity of who New Mexico is. There's something different since Danny Gonzalez is gone. And it's a new tradition over there. It's nothing like you thought before. And this Utah State team, they go in and out. Sometimes they can move the ball really well, and then sometimes they're going to get blown out by the big teams. But I mean, I can account for 28 points from both teams. I don't see who's going to hit the 30. I mean, if I'm leaning New Mexico, maybe New Mexico hits the 30, but I don't think they both hit 30. But that total is high and it's getting higher. So Big Ragu, tell us the jewels, because I don't know the secret in this one.
You know what? You know why I capped this game? Because when I seen that number, I seen some of my power ratings took it to like 80. I'm like 80 for these two teams. But then I went back in and I started breaking it down. I'm like, wait a minute now. I got to see what's going on here. And it put me on the game, actually. Just kind of, that's how we find these little jewels, like you like to call them, right? But yeah, surprisingly enough, with New Mexico, they can score points. This team can score points. But here's the crazy thing. They're like 6-0 to the under, which I was surprised when I seen that. I couldn't believe that. And they're averaging like 35 points away, 500 yards of offense, right? Top 5, scoring team on the road. So, I mean, yeah, it's Mountain West, but they got a Mountain Western opponent here, right? And they mix it. They're like 50-50, with their play calls, as far as, 50% run, 50% pass. But here's the thing with Utah State. Utah State is number 1 in college football at seconds per play. So in other words, they're running up tempo all the time. They're running like average like 18 seconds a play. New Mexico is running about 27 seconds. So that being said, Utah, they're going to run a lot of up tempo. So what has to happen in this game is New Mexico has to get a few stops and they're really bad against the run. Utah State. I mean, their numbers are like in the high hundreds, against the run, and they both average like 7 yards a play. But I think New Mexico's offense this is the key matchup for me because, like I say, run pass wise, New Mexico likes to run the ball 50-50, where Utah State likes to put it up in the air like 65-35, and they do run the up tempo offense, and they're scoring about 28 games at home, where New Mexico is scoring about 35, but. I mean, if you go back and look at it, last year's game was like 41-44, which was, the highest score, and that total was set at 58. So now you come back a year later, basically the same teams, and you make the 3 touchdowns higher. I know the markets have kind of up early on, but they've backed down. If you look back if you watch the line moves on this game here, I got in at 78.5. I'm on the under. I hit the under. I think it's way too many points for these two type of teams. It's not a premier type of game, but these are the type of games that kind of get ugly and get away. But I think, like you said, I got this I got this game in the lower 60s is what I come up with, if anything. And especially if New Mexico runs the ball and they chew clock up, which I think they'll do, and they'll milk the clock to keep UTS off the field. So I like the under here, guys. I'm winning right now. I'm winning 78.5 to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So let's go under.
That's what's up, man. And we got to take a pause in the show right now. New member, our guy Razor Sharp, man. A new member. Don't forget that we have members over here. Becoming a member for us really helps, man. It's not tax free and free to have everything go. We put a lot of our heart in this for a little bit of no return for the most part. But my man Razor Sharp, man, great capper. Make sure you go follow that guy. I mean, he hit a pick 6 this week worth over 40,000. So he's one of my most winningest cappers. And look at that, man. He's a real solid guy. If he wins the lottery, he will give back. See, he's become a member and help us out. So it's 9:00 in the morning on the West Coast.
Here we
I
go.
just
Ready?
barely in my coffee cup.
I got it right here. Right. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks, baby. Let's go.
Shot time. There it is right there. Oh, man. I wasn't ready for that. But for my guy Razor, I will for sure. So let's keep the show moving, man. The big one, and we got our guys out there and the dogs out there watching us right now. So we got to do a good job on this one. But, hey, I did what we talked about on Tailgate Talks this week, and I got a nice teaser going, and teased up Georgia 6 points. So I got 11 points with Georgia on this game right here. I mean, talk of the town. When do you get a chance to take Georgia? I mean, I didn't look it up, but when was the last time you could take Georgia plus over 3? And
50
and this
games ago,
Texas
50. 5-0.
50 games ago, man. And Texas, I mean, I don't believe I'm not drinking the Texas Kool-Aid. I mean, yeah, Ewers a great quarterback, running back is nice. They kind of got everything working in the right direction like it should be. The defense is caught up with the offense. They even got a backup quarterback, which is even, more impressive from those guys. But I'm still not drinking the Kool-Aid over there, man, because of Sark. Sark is just he's just a mess up that I just can't overlook, and he'll be sure to mess this one up. And then not only that, right? So let's go deeper. Georgia, they almost came back and won that Alabama game. So since then, that might have put a spark to their behind that they need to play with more urgency, and you'll get a different Georgia defense today than you got in that Alabama game, and they'll make Texas have to play to every bit of what they saying they about. And then on the offensive side, Beck has been clicking a little bit more. They even talk about Beck coming up in the Heisman race. So Beck could straighten things out. They definitely don't need a loss right here to cruise. But now the cat's out the bag. What I've been saying since the beginning of the season is that a lot of these Georgia kids is in a whole lot of trouble. It's just so much chaos up there going on. But in this spot right here, I think they come together to show the world. It's like imagine having Alabama about 9 years ago in this situation right here. You own Saban in Alabama all day. So I found a way to get on Georgia by putting them in the teaser. So tease them up to plus 11. But I don't even look shy at taking the plus 5. I might get there later on in the day, but I haven't got there yet. I'm just in with the teaser. Anybody? I know everybody's on this game. What you got to say, Wine Time?
I got nothing in this one, guys, but I do got something to say about this, man.
What happened to you jumping in the smoke, man?
I know, man. Jump right out. Hey, this is going to be a good game, though, man. SEC action right here, guys. Top 5 game. Look at the strength of schedule, guys. Texas, nothing impressive, honestly, so far throughout the season. Georgia has beaten Alabama, and people say they lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a lot better of a team than a lot of people thought going into the season. We saw that when they beat Virginia Tech in week 1. With that being said, man, it's crazy getting points with Georgia, man. I mean, we're talking about 2 coaches, Kirby Smart and Sark. I'm taking Kirby Smart all day long, twice on a Saturday. Definitely lean towards the Georgia side. I just think it might be a little fishy laying this many points. Maybe Texas comes out here and shows that they're the real deal. I'm still have to see it. And I haven't seen that yet. And they haven't faced a top. This is going to be the hardest opponent they face all season. So if they can get away with a win in this matchup, good for them. They got a lot of big things ahead of them. But like you said, Sark's known for messing things up like this, losing games like this. And Georgia, I mean, this is pretty much like the last 10 years. I mean, this is like the new Alabama. You know what I mean? They've been dogs, I think Moose said earlier, like 3 times in like the last decade, I want to say, and they're 1-2 ATS. So interesting. But yeah, I'm off this game, guys. Lean towards Georgia.
Well, let them have it, Big Ragu.
All right, let's go. All right, so you know that old saying, paralysis by overanalysis? If you get in, you can break down every angle of this game, whatever you want to do. I got a couple key little points here that I'm looking at. First off, we get Georgia as a dog, right? That hasn't happened, like I said, 50 games. You got to go back to the Clemson a few years back when they were getting 3 points or something like that. Now, not to take anything away from Texas because, they've kind of Sark has kind of brought these guys along very nicely. And I love what he did with the scheduling this year because he kind of got them primed for this game as far as, getting things set up. Because early on, I mean, if you go back and look, he's only played 1 conference game so far. And he played Mississippi State, which is a weaker SEC team. So, I mean, he played Michigan early. He played, Colorado State first game, UTSA, UL Monroe, Mississippi. And last week, a big game against Oklahoma, which they, to their credit, only allowed 3 points. But right now, they have the number 1 rated scoring defense in the country. They're allowing like 6 points a game, which is ridiculous. but they haven't played anybody like you said, like Georgia. Now we get Georgia in the dog roll, no pun intended, right? Carson Beck started out the season as supposedly the top quarterback in college football, which I question that. I know he's a top 5 candidate for sure, but this is a showcase game, guys, here for Georgia to kind of get back in the thick of things for the SEC championship. And it's not going to hurt Texas to lose because we can see them in the playoffs. Obviously, I don't think they'll drop down too far. But for my money here, we got unfamiliarity. We got Georgia in a dog roll. We got Texas playing a real tough opponent as a favorite in their own house. So we'll see how they respond to that. So I know Georgia's been there, done that before. Texas, not so much. Up and coming, solid program. But you know what? For my money, like Wine says, give me Smart over Sark any day of the week. I'm going to be on the dogs barking real loud here, guys. I'm taking a +5, and I'm taking them on the money line +175. Georgia wins this game outright. Don't need the points.
Ooh, I love it, man. And you know what? Attention, all cappers. You need to jump on this one because this is basically bookies. The bookies being real cute for doing this. You know, we thought they were getting cute last week with Oklahoma minus 14.5. Now this is pushing it, guys. Bookies do pushing it. I gotta stand on the capper side and take this 5 on the chin if I have to. So yeah, I'm on Georgia on this one.
And there's a lot of public money coming in on Texas too, by the way.
Yeah, that's because we got so many bettors in the game now. It's ridiculous. So, you know, I mean, if you're looking from another theory, you know, if the books say it's 5, it's 5. You know, 5 is not a key number. It really has to be 7 to tell you the truth. So the books are saying that that Texas is gonna shut Georgia down too. This might be a really good under though. These big games like this are usually great unders.
I think the Georgia front 7 will play a lot better in this spot here. They're ready for this game here, guys. It's not going to be like the Bama game where they were able to get up and down the field. Georgia's defense is a little bit. They're a little off kilter right now. They're ranked like 20-ish because you know some of the games they've been involved, but they played some tough games early on too, guys. So give them credit for what they've accomplished. You know, there's going to be a little. There's going to be some wounds come along the way, and we're going to see that going forward because, like you said, the NIL team stepping up and whatnot. But I think coaching wise, I got to take the dogs here for that question.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep it rolling. We got 2 more left. This next one right here is a crowd favorite. Iowa. This was at 4.5 when I put this a few days ago. This thing is up to 6.5, 7 now. Well, our guy ATNC 33 came in and said that's his play of the day, Iowa -6. I believe I got it at 6 as well. I didn't get it at the 4.5. Let's see here. Iowa, I got at 6.5. So I got a 6.5 on this one. But this Iowa team, I think it's a good spot for them. I've seen Michigan State. They play really good defense, but the offense is lackluster. I can't stand that quarterback over there. He's going to be head in the dirt with this Iowa defense, rushing a tough 4 and dropping 6 on them. I'm pretty sure. And this Iowa team, don't get it twisted. These guys been doing over for the most part this year. Go look that up. They tend to the over a lot, so they're putting points up for sure. They play in this Michigan State team that's just not there. They're not. I love the coach over there. I think he has a bright future over there, but the athletes and the system don't match up. But they're coming off of a bye week right here, Michigan State, and coming to this one, so they might have a chance to tune things up. But this is, Iowa's an old school juggernaut in this conference, and Michigan State has always been a little less than. So this is a spot for Iowa to fix all their mistakes and straighten up a little bit as they go down into the stretch, because it might be all the teams in the Big Ten might have 2 losses. So Iowa's definitely in the race to go to the playoffs and some more. So big game for Iowa today. I think they bring out their big dogs. McNamara connects. He's starting to find some favorite receivers now. So he's moving the ball a little bit better. They've been hitting those over. This total is really low to tap the over as well. But this is more of a fade on that quarterback at Michigan State and what they're doing on offense. And it's the backing of Iowa overall for me. You on this one, Wine, or you pass on this smoke too?
Man, I'm passing on this smoke, boss.
Oh,
man. You know me, man. I can't take Iowa in this spot, but I think they win this game. Don't get me wrong, they win this game. You know, Coach Kirk, I mean, these are the kind of games he needs to get on the road. Michigan State, you know, you mentioned, touched on their quarterback, Aiden Childs, makes a lot of rookie mistakes, freshman mistakes. He's a true sophomore in this one. So he's a younger guy. And Jonathan Smith is still trying to get this Michigan State team rolling. It's a hard conference to enter in. You know, he's coming over from Oregon State, came over, inherited a program that hasn't really won a lot over the last couple of years. He's gotten a couple, you know, he's looked good in some games this season so far. I'm impressed with a 3-3 record. Iowa, on the other hand, I think they need this game a lot more. So I do think they can come out and cover this spread. You touched on it, Caden McNamara feeling a little more comfortable in this offense. And, I mean, they struggle against Ohio State, but everyone's going to struggle against Ohio State except Oregon, I guess. But, yeah, with that being said, I'm off this one, guys. Lean towards the under. Always love the Iowa unders. But this year, I feel like they haven't been hitting as much. I haven't been taking them as much as I was last year. So this is a straight pass for me.
That's what's up. Big Ragu, I know you in on this one. This is
I've
real.
been Iowa every week. Every week,
Yeah.
I'm Iowa. I told you early in the season, they keep hanging these team totals with Iowa. They're going to keep putting them over the top. Anything over 23, anything under 20, anything under 24 points, I'm auto play here. So guess what? We're sitting at 23 and a half, but I bought 1 point down to 22 and a half at minus 120, 125, depending on where you get it. I know Michigan State's defense is pretty good against the run, guys. Against the run, they're good. But, you know, their offense doesn't pick up on where the defense helps them out. So that's going to put them in peril again today. And you see the low number, 39 and a half, whatever it is dropping. I get it. I get that part too. But now when Michigan State holds teams to under 220 yards, they usually win the game. But guess what Iowa hasn't done? They haven't rushed for over 200. I think they're averaging like right about 219 yards a game here. They won't need the 230, 221, or 222 to get over the hump to beat them, which if that happened, I'd fall out of my chair and die right now if they ran for 222 yards and won the game. But they don't need it because they're more balanced this year. Yeah, they want to run first. Yes, they want to, you know, pound the rock and let their defense step up and let them, you know, stretch the field out on occasion with McNamara, who he's been doing a pretty good job. Not a fantastic job, but he's been doing a great job of running that offense and controlling tempo on their side of the ball, how they like to play it. But I was like number 11 rushing the ball. I know they're going to try to run the ball, and we know that tends to bode towards the number at the 39 and a half. But I think they still clip the 22 and a half here. I think Iowa still doubles them up too. I can see like a 28 to 14 win here, you know, and I should be on the Iowa side, which I probably will get to the window with that too. But anything less than a touchdown, I'm on Iowa here too. But I'm going to smash the team totals because I told myself that's what I was going to run with this year. Until I lose, I'm going to keep going back to it. I've yet to lose with an Iowa team total yet, and I'm going back to the window with it again. So put me on Iowa over 22 and a half minus 120.
I like it. Big shout out to Justin McLeavely. This guy follows everything we do, no matter if he watches the show live or if he catches in the rerun. He leaves a comment, he likes, and everything. So salute to you, man, Justin. We appreciate it. And he's also a member. So be a member like some of these other guys that's members. So that, you know, I do put out the shows a little early. They come to the members on a lot of the videos I do and stuff like that. So there's a few member benefits, and we're gonna have more as we go further. I'm gonna send out some if I could get everybody to get their email address somehow, then because YouTube don't just give me everybody's email address, I would definitely send them something in the mail from us over here at Who-Bangin Sports. But I really support. He says he supports the real one. We appreciate that. You just don't know.
Brother.
You don't know how that.
The Stacks play of the day too, whatever that is. Justin, did you put the Stacks play of the day in the chat? Go ahead and shout it out to our chat, brother, because we'd love to hear who you're on for the Stacks play of the day.
Stack them. Last game, we came down to this one. We did 53 minutes today, but we did a lot of games right here. This is the last one for us today. This one is an interesting game too. I mean, Kentucky, they have so many highlights, almost beating big teams, Georgia, and all this different stuff. And Florida just has a whole bunch of drama going on with Billy Napier and quarterback position and a lot of stuff going on. I mean, but they are going into wild environment, like my man Wine keeps up on, and it could be a shot for Florida to actually get a win. And the Florida, even though my man Wine says that UCLA has the toughest schedule, but Florida was the one that they said had the toughest schedule. I think they play like Georgia, LSU, it's Kentucky, Georgia, LSU, and a couple more
Ole
back
Miss.
to back, back to back to back
Yeah.
at the rest of the season. So this the last time for Billy Napier to save his ass today. So if he is able to stop the P Diddy patrol, then he could he could do it right here. But I don't know. I'm a big Bill Napier fan because of the way that he does things. But at this point, I don't want to lose any more money with Florida or any hopes and dreams of Napier getting out of this. But I wish him well. So Big Ragu, I know you got to be on this one.
Yeah, this is one of my plays here, guys. And Florida teams have not been nice to me over the years. Normally, I just keep. I'm a glutton for punishment. I keep coming back for more with these guys. So not that I like them any. I'm not here to like them or dislike them. I'm here just to try to cash a ticket on these guys. But like you said, you're looking ahead on the schedule wise. They got, and they're not going to be looking ahead because they got nothing to look ahead to or look for. They got, like you said, they got Georgia, Texas, LSU, Mississippi, and then Florida State, which they'll probably win that. But they're sitting at 3 wins. So if they're able to win this game and snake one of those other games away, which, they played Tennessee really tough. They went into Neyland Stadium and they lost that game in overtime. And, and the week before they were a 1-point underdog at home against UCF. I mean, come on. Really? That was a spot play for them too, by the way. But here, we get a defensive battle, guys, and then DJ Langway, he gets to pull all the levers now because he's the guy. Mertz went out; he's done for the year, and he stepped in last week. He shared some time with Mertz the week before on the UCF game and wasn't bad there. But I know he threw a couple of picks when they played A&M too. But I think it's doable game here for Florida. Tennessee. Kentucky's been in some knockdown, drag-out games. This has got to be taking a little bit of a toll on these guys, man. They played 2 teams really, really tough. They had the big upset win, and they took Georgia down to the wire too. So now they got to go on the road and play in a swamp here. So to me, this is a spot play on Florida all day long, guys. This is a very winnable game for them. I mean, for years, they used to beat these guys like a drum, but that's changed since Stoops got there. I think they won like 23, 22 in a row, but now they kind of evened it out since then. I think maybe Kentucky might even have a few more W's since Stoops have been there, but it's a triple revenge spot for Florida too, by the way. They've lost the last 2. Gators want to get this one under their belt, and this is probably the most winnable game they'll have left in the season. So like you said, Napier's ass is online. I think the kids step up today. Take Florida plus the 2 or take them on the money line, whatever you do, but I think Florida wins this game today.
There you go, Florida. Bring the Gatorade. Bring the Gatorade and get it going like you used to in this one. But that's it for our plays today that we have scheduled out. Anything extra I have is I got in the money line parlay. I got Mizzou. Mizzou need a win today too. Even though I was hesitant because the running back Nate Noel, he's out. But they run by committee over there. I think what they have going on at this point in the season get them there today. So I got Mizzou on the money line. And that's it. Extra. I got you. What you got extra, Wine?
That's pretty much it for me, guys. I think I gave out all my action today. I'm looking forward to today, man. Got the UCLA game on the TV right now. It's coming on early today, so I'm excited for that. And then it's the wife's birthday, so we're gonna go do a couple fun things today once she wakes up.
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna need this money for sure. How about you, Big Ragu? You got anything extra for him?
Yeah, just one little total play on it. Cincinnati, Arizona State, which is getting ready to kick off. I think I like the over. I think it's sitting at 49. I got like 60 on the game. So there's a little value there in the total on over Cincinnati. Maybe get in live if you can't get in on a kick.
There it is. Our guy Nunya shows up and says, yes, UAB plus 13.5. He's on Mizzou with me. He wants to know if Ragu, are you on South Florida today?
Yeah, I was looking at South Florida. That was one maybe the total on that one with UAB. UAB is a shit show with Dilfer. This is a winnable game for South Florida. So, yeah, that's probably not a bad look. They're on the road. They've kind of disappointed the past few weeks. Early on, they played tough first halves, maybe UAB, South Florida first half is a look here in this game.
That's what's up right there. Shout out to the chat. Our guy T Moss just came in here. Of course, Justin is here. Brian, Nunya, Redbeard, Sean Linger. Who else is in there? Razor Sharp stopped through. AT33. Our guy Jimmy Collins and Stardust Mike watching us live. Ix Snizzle showed up. Flea Mathis. Meeks was in the house. I appreciate all y'all. Tony Cobbs was here early in the morning. Appreciate all y'all for supporting us, man. This is exactly why we do this. Just for the love and to get off all our capping, because we're not making six figures to be on camera, but we show up every week willing and ready. And I appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me. Sometimes they think I'm crazy around my house for doing this stuff, but I continue to do it. Nunya's putting a whole bunch of plays in the chat. He's on Scatterboo today, man. Scatterboo got me good last week. I thought they could shut Scatterboo down, but that guy's the real deal. So watch out for Scatterboo. Yeah, he's a real beast. But that's it for us today, man. We're going to go ahead and get out of here because these games get ready to start. So thank you once again for joining us. Y'all want to tell anything before we go?
Shout out to the chat for showing out. Shout out to my guy Ragu for being back with us, man. Shout out to DJ
Absolutely.
Big Boss, as always, man. Shout out to you too. My guy JT traveling, wasn't here today, but hopefully he's back next week, man. Shout out to all you guys in the chat. Good luck on all your action today. Let's get this cash, fellas.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We out of here.
The Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.